Okay, we are live.
Ooh.
Yes.
Boom.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to make a lot of noise, but I got sleeping family in the next room, so I'll just pretend. Yes, let me turn off the. I would like to make a lot of noise, but
someone has their speakers on.
Yeah, it's. That's not me anymore.
The sound?
Oh, I have headphones on.
Okay, I have. No, it's gone.
It's gone.
I'm not accusing anybody of technical issues.
Hiko gets a boner every time someone makes a technical mistake.
If that were true, I wouldn't be able to stand up.
Well, you're sitting down, so
yeah.
Prove me wrong. I see he remains seated. Hi guys, it's good to see you all. I guess I lose because I said I referred to genitalia within a few seconds. I would like to thank Ronan Dave's hater. I forgot his name because it's not important, but he's the guy who has he down thumbs all of my videos 4 times, every single video.
Wow.
So I don't remember his name.
I mean, that's dedication right there.
That's dedication. So I control this guy's life. Like he's got nothing to do except waiting till that video comes up. And what he doesn't realize is that those 4 thumbs actually increases my chances of getting found by the YouTube algorithm. So thank you. That just helps. So thank you very much. Thanks for that dedication.
It's true. Actually, you look at when you look at the popular videes, it's like videos that are like controversial or getting they do get ranked up. So thank you for the money.
Yeah.
Right.
Thanks for the attention. Yeah, and it just I just feel a little bit sad for this guy because like it must take like 3 minutes let's say it only takes him like 2 minutes, okay, every time he does it. But I've done like 1,000 videos in the last 2 years, so that's 2,000 minutes.
Just to be clear, guest of today's show is not the troll. It is Jordan.
But enough of that. But so Jordan, no. So the reason I mentioned this is because someone said, "Oh, 42 thumbs up." It has nothing to do with Jordan. It's all me. Believe me, it happens every single video. So, but thank you all for joining us tonight. Today we have Jordan, who is also known as WOLFHAVENXIII, and he has been around for a long time, but he's been gone for a long time too. So he's back. So I'm glad to see an old familiar face. So when did you get out of jail? When did you get out of jail? What'd you do? What'd they get you for? Was it anime porn or something? Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about. There's nothing on my hard drive. But yeah, it's been a long time.
So how about a little introduction for the...
All right, so Jordan, also known as WOLFHAVENXIII, been in the J-vlogging community for what, 6, 7, 8 years now? However long we've been doing it.
Since I met him in New York City face to face for the first time, right? And that must have been
no, that's a lie.
Really?
I met you during one of the YouTube meetups in
That's
Tokyo.
Right. I met you at Tokyo YouTube meetup first, and then one of Hiko and Simon's in our meetups.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And then after that, I met you in New York City.
In New York City, yep.
With Loretta.
Yep, Loretta and Brian.
Brian.
Yep. And
my famous actor.
Yep.
My wife was there. Not me, of course, but. Hiko, how do you know Wolf, or what early memories?
Through the YouTube parties, pretty much, and through the sort of the get-togethers. We chatted a couple times, and I saw you were restarting your channel, and I thought it was a good opportunity, especially with the change of the rules and whatnot. But I don't know. I mean, so there's a good question right there. I mean, just when you're planning a big comeback and to cash in on all of that pent-up fame and YouTube stardom, they change all the rules on you. Do you feel undermined by that? Is that motivating?
Yeah, I mean, what motivated you to come back at this time?
Actually, I was coming back anyway, and then that happened.
Yeah.
So
it's like YouTube saying, "Don't come back."
Yeah, just no, stay in your corner,
stay away. So, are you like, I will take your challenge, or are you like?
I mean, pretty much. I mean, I wasn't really in for the money in the first place. I just had fun. with YouTube, and I missed like the whole community thing.
It does surprise me how many people have said they're walking away from YouTube over losing out on what's basically like a Happy Meal once a month.
I know.
Pretty much. I think I've made like $16. So
don't spend it all at once.
Yeah, right.
Well, so what's the plan? Well, tell us about your plans for bringing it back. Your channel, your videos look so far that it looks good. Your intro and everything. Like, what's the plan?
So, pretty much following my One-san steps, which is Kamushi-chan.
Is she One-san? Oh, you mean like real life?
Not my real sister.
Look, Hiko, just because he's black doesn't mean he's related to all the black people in the world. You're just like my little sister.
No, I wasn't assuming that, but he actually said that she was his own One-san. I was like, really?
No, we joke.
Those of you watching, he actually did say that it's his older sister. So
yeah, we joke around. I'm pretty good friends with Loretta, so I call her my big sister.
Loretta's a wonderful person.
I would take her as a big sister any day. Actually, that would be yes.
That's insulting, Hiko. She's way younger than you are. Where is Lo? We should have her on. She's pretty.
Yeah, we should. But pretty much, like the purpose of starting the channel over again is to like get me back into studying Japanese, because I'm at a point where like I'm fluent enough, but I've been slacking on improving it.
That happens.
They say like teaching is like the best way to learn. So
that's pretty good. There is that dead zone between level 2 and level 1 where there's so much extra to do for level 1, which isn't really practical, and you can really handle any situation. So you think, why do I have to spend this much effort for that little bit extra thing? It's really hard. I got stuck there as well.
Yeah, that's exactly where I am, in between 2 and 1. So
it takes a while.
So what's the idea? You're going to teach like what are you aiming at? What's your demographic?
Demographic, I guess mostly anime nerds, but I mean it could probably apply to anyone.
So you're going to teach like anime Japanese?
Well, anime Japanese, regular Japanese. Like I'm really into grammar. I love breaking down Japanese grammar and making it simple. So like anytime any of my friends have any problem with Japanese, I'm like, okay, this is how you do it or whatever. And I'm like, I should make a video about this. And then like, I never do.
So like anime grammar.
Anime grammar, just in grammar in general.
Like, if he defeats the monster, she will get the crystal tiara and stuff like that.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
I mean, if you look at my older videos, like me and Victor were watching them earlier, but like I break down like daily conversations that anime characters are having with each other and stuff like that. So, that type of thing is like my favorite thing to do.
Okay, what animes would you use for teaching?
Mostly Nichijo animes. So like anything that's like high school setting or, real life type setting, that like real life situation type anime.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, there's a lot of them actually.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised.
You watch, do you know any anime? I don't really know any anime.
Me, I don't keep up very well. I think I was kind of familiar with what was popular when I got here in like '99. I've been terrible apart from what my kid watches. But yeah, I know that there's a lot of really good manga that gets converted over into anime, like the really popular ones, and there's some I know there's a lot of good stuff out there, and I feel out of touch. But so I'm probably looking for tips here.
I feel like I should be studying that more.
Yeah, I mean the market's kind of like saturated right now, but yeah.
So okay, as someone who Victor came here for the money, I came here for the women, and you guys came here for the anime. And, I feel like I'm behind.
But I ended up with the women. You ended up with the money, so that didn't work out for either of us.
Well, that's right. It's true. And neither of us has the anime, right? So I'm feeling like, am I missing out on this? I should, if I wanted to partake in in the anime and switch my focus, where would you get started? Like as a foreign person. Inside or outside of Japan. Like if people are watching your channel and they watch your Japanese and they think this is awesome, I want to watch more. Where do people find anime, and how do they know what's good to watch? I mean, there's so much.
Yeah, I know.
Oh yeah. I mean, like the biggest way people watch anime right now would be like Crunchyroll or Funimation.
Crunchyroll.
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 Is Rosalie on there now? Do you know?
Nah. Oh wait, is she? What time is it over there? I don't even know.
Is she on Crunchyroll? Does she
Oh,
work there, or does she?
Not anymore.
Oh, she used to. Okay.
Yeah, those were the good days.
What was her username? She hasn't posted in a while either.
Shot Anime.
Yeah, Shot Anime. It was a great.
I met her in Seattle.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
You didn't tell me that.
I'm jealous.
Yeah,
She's
no,
cool.
I hung out with her and the family. It was very good.
I've had her over for dinner a bunch of times. Her and her husband. So.
Oh, she's very cool.
See, now I'm super jealous because I call her my One-sama.
What? She's really no, I wouldn't get it.
Because if you look at my channel, that chibi version of myself, I commissioned her for that.
Oh wow!
Oh,
yes. Oh man, that'd be awesome. No, she's got skills.
Yeah, she's a great girl.
Skills.
Now, but you know what? That's what happened to her. She had kids, and kids are just killers.
Really? And you have 2 of them.
Well, yeah, but I hate them both. I just
at least in Japan they won't be getting guns.
Wow.
I need a gun. No, I'm just kidding. Of course, not really. Yes, of course. No, I want to kill them.
By the way, Kazuichi X in the comments here is saying that we're really mainstream and we're not hardcore enough, and we really need to go to My Anime List or Reddit or something for the latest stuff.
Oh yeah.
That's legitimate advice there.
Yeah, My Anime List is like your library of stuff you watch to keep track. Like, oh, I watch episode 1, you put it. And then you can have a list of all the anime you watched, all the ones you completed, the ones you didn't complete, and all that crap. See recommendations. It's legit.
Right. So basically, my watch list is bigger. Whatever you want to kind of show that off, you kind of add.
Yeah.
Right. I get that. That makes sense. It's kind of gamification.
Someone in the comments named Andrew recommends Canada Gin for lessons about the Japanese language.
Yeah.
There you go. This is the kind of audience we're dealing with. People who think that that's somehow, I don't know. But you know, that's some drama I'd like to get into. That's some bizarre shit. I don't know if you guys know. Do you guys know what happened there?
No, what happened?
She erased all her videos.
Really?
Yeah, it's kind of impressive.
I kind of respect that, actually. Yeah.
I do too, because it means she's not just in it for the money, which she must have been, or the ranking, or the status, because she was up there with all the views. But I think she raised like 45 million views in a span of a few days.
Damn.
Which, yeah, that's bizarre. But I still don't think she's worth watching. But the fact that she was willing to do that is.
I mean, that's a lot of money that right there. That
Yeah.
She could have been making just doing nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit cool.
Yeah, that's who's crazier, her or hiding in my room? Quick, her. She is. She's crazy. Because I mean, he would never do that. That guy wants money so badly. Do you know Hiding in My Room? You guys know who that is?
No.
He's a. Well, what's the point of even continuing this conversation? He's another crazy person out there in the J vlogging community, on the fringes of our community.
See, now I have to go look into that later.
No, they're both people. They're both train wrecks where you want to watch, and at the same time you're thinking, what am I doing? What am I doing? Anyway, so here's what I want to ask you. Why you weren't disappointed? I mean, did you think, why should I bother coming back to YouTube after the changes? Because so many people, including my Japanese for Morons channel, which has 21,000 subs, lost their monetization rights.
Yeah. I mean, one other big reason I want to come back to YouTube is for the YouTube space in New York.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was there when it first opened, and I went there like every month and like met a whole bunch of cool people, whatever. But then they also hit people with like the band hammer, like, you need 1,000 subs to be able to, come to the party, or come use the equipment.
I think you need 5,000 in Japan, right? Isn't he going? How much is it in Japan?
It's different things now. For some of the parties, there's a threshold, and then for renting the space, there's a threshold. And I don't know, the privilege, they keep increasing the level. I haven't actually been back there for a while, but
it's kind of a pain in the ass, to be
might be
honest.
quite high now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass, but like I have fun when I go there, and I have a lot of other YouTubers friends in the city that go there.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to get back up in that group, that little clique.
So you're from New York?
Yeah, born and raised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can tell because he has no accent. And true New Yorkers, true people from Manhattan have no accent. People from Brooklyn and Queens have a kind of funny accent. They talk a little bit funny. But people from Manhattan have a pretty neutral accent, which is weird. I never understood that.
Yeah, I always thought about that. I'm like, I wonder if people can tell I'm from New York.
No, I don't think so. No.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you had you didn't have a standout. If you had a sort of a Long Island sort of a, you know.
I am from Long Island, though.
I wouldn't have picked that. No.
Really? You're from
Yeah.
Long Island? I think you told me that, and I was equally surprised then.
Yeah, and then you have to do a Joe Pesci impersonation or something, because that's what I look forward to when I hear Long Island. But yeah,
But his channel is Japanese Learnage.
Yeah,
and it was started about 9 years ago or so,
Yeah.
8 or 9 years ago. But it's been pretty dormant for the last 6 years.
Yeah.
But he's coming back. He's
somewhat.
right? Is that right?
I deleted a whole bunch of videos. Well, unlisted a whole bunch of videos.
Unlisted, right? So, but he's going to come back, and he just put up his Welcome to Japanese Learnage introduction video 2 weeks ago. So if you'd like to start learning Japanese, there he is. Japanese Learnage.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Channel? People have asked me there. Yeah.
The next video, 2 videos I'm going to do are like how I learned Japanese, my Japanese, like that boring type video, and like a beginner's guide, like to learning Japanese, because like a lot of people, when they first want to learn Japanese, they're like, oh, where do I start?
Yeah,
because there's just like so much. So I kind of want to curate information into one video for them.
So sneak preview then. How did you learn Japanese?
And that's another reason. That's pretty much the beginning of the video, but it's a question I hate being asked.
Yeah, no, I'm going to ask it again.
Because
we ask tough questions.
Tough questions. I always say a lot because I started studying by myself. Then I went to Sunday classes. Then I went to Japan for a little bit. Then I took college classes.
You went to Japan a couple times, didn't you?
Oh, twice.
Twice. You were in Fukuoka last time, right?
Both times.
Both times. Okay.
Fukuoka, yeah. Sister city of Auckland, my hometown. So there we go. That's where I first exchanged. That's my entry point to Japan, was Fukuoka.
Oh, really?
Nice.
Yeah. I'm a Fukuoka. I consider, people ask where I'm from. I sometimes say in a Japanese sense, I was born in Fukuoka.
Fukuoka.
Tell us about your programs for Fukuoka. I think a lot of people would be interested in that.
Which programs?
You went to do you go to a language program?
Oh yeah. The first one I went to was called, well, it's still alive. It's called Genki Jacks.
Dinky Jacks?
Genki.
Oh, Genki.
Genki Jacks.
And makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. They're like a small company, or small school that was like above like Mandarake.
Right.
And then they got really
Mandarake
big.
is a big anime chain, and they sell anime figures as well.
Yeah. And cosplay outfits and whatever else you can name.
Anything connected to it's like an otaku heaven. It's like the Kmart of otaku, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
It's a pretty cool place. I mean,
the Akihabara shop is like the Death Star. It's a serious building. It's just a huge, big black box.
Yeah, we have like a 3 or 4 story building in the middle of Oskanen here in Nagoya, and yeah, it's great. It's like an island
of its own.
So sorry. So what did you do? What was your program? Explain to us.
Oh, so
how
pretty
that
much.
was arranged.
Pretty much you just pay money and go. But it's like
You're a great salesman.
Yeah, I know. They have different programs that you could take. So basic Japanese, like depending on your level. They also have like, if you're into anime and stuff, they have like pop culture class where teacher will help you read manga or explain anime terms or take you to like different anime shops and help you.
Really? They take you to anime shop in the class?
Yeah, we went on a field trip and we went to the mall, went to an anime shop, and she's like, okay, I'm going to teach you how to ask about products and, what's the history of this anime product and crap like that.
Oh. I mean, part of me thinks this is wonderful, and part of me thinks, oh shit, all these people are just learning to talk like this.
Pretty much.
So what was your particular deal? You paid for a full course. I mean, people want to know like how many hours a day. Do they help you with apartments, things like that?
Yeah, they'll help you out. They have apartment programs. You could do homestay.
Okay.
The program wise, you can do part-time, full-time. It depends on how many classes you want to take in a day, but you could take up to like what
did you do?
I took like 5, 6 hours a day, like every day.
Okay.
Except Saturday and Sunday. I also took the pop culture class, which was interesting.
Pop culture class sounds fun. Well, what's in that?
That was the one where we went on the field trip to the mall.
That sounds awesome.
Anime products, yeah. And then my teacher helped me read manga and stuff like that.
Yeah. So was that a mistake?
Nah. Mistake?
Sorry, I thought you said that was a mistake.
Oh, no.
Oh.
But no, the mistake that time when we go into Japan was that I kind of thought of it as a field trip, like a vacation.
Yeah.
So although I was learning Japanese in classes, out of classes, we would just all hang out and talk English and just roam around Japan.
コメントあったんだけど、日本語喋れって誰が言ってるから。誰が知らない人。日本語で喋れだって。
俺が
なんやねん。違う。標準語喋れよ。そんななんかコメントの中で日本語喋れる。自分も日本語使ってないじゃん。それ関西弁なんか。
日本語じゃないね、関西弁。
日本語じゃないじゃん。なんか標準語喋りなさい。
そう。標準語喋ってください。
Standard Japanese, please. Keep it clean. Yeah.
何それ
That's me being a 感じ悪い東京人
Sounds kind of cringe. Well, no, I don't think it's cringy. Well, no. Someone said your studies are cringy. 5 hours a day for 3 months. I think that'll help.
So tell me, has there ever been a situation where you felt like, where you ever became self-aware that you had a slight bias towards anime type Japanese? And someone kind of like noticed that or something, or has that never come up?
Bias towards anime type Japanese?
So like, have you ever been talking to somebody and, like, for example, there are expressions that kind of Japanese otaku guys like to use. I mean, the word otaku itself, is actually it derives from kind of otaku slang, right? The otaku would call people when they say you, they would say otaku a lot. It's kind of a feature.
Yeah.
And because people thought that was weird, that's what they labeled the whole group of people. So there are kind of anime tribe phrases and stuff like that, which sometimes give away that you're like someone who's into anime. So I'm just wondering, have you ever been in that situation where someone was like kind of, oh, you're one of that tribe? Like, is that ever come up or?
One time, where my dad was on a plane with a Japanese girl, and he pretty much talked to her and he's like, oh, Japanese, you're Japanese, you should talk to my son, he knows Japanese. So he sends me like her email and I'm starts emailing her and I'm using like internet otaku slang, like a whole bunch of W's and all that stuff, and then she's just like, oh, your Japanese is kind of like otaku poi. And she just stopped talking to me after that.
Well, it's either going to be really good or really bad. I mean, it's probably, it was never meant to be anyway if she didn't mail you back.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you're in luck. I think nowadays it's kind of it's become more mainstream than it was certainly like in the 90s and stuff like that. In the 90s, the thing is that like Aum Shinrikyo, like those the subway gas terror group, religious group.
Aum Shinrikyo.
That was basically a nerd cult. Those were all like Akihabara, PC assembling otaku guys, and so there was kind of like that and a few other things that happened in the 90s. it was kind of like, you know, if when it used to be like having a geeky son in Japan was like, oh, he's going to be a doctor or he's going to work in a bank, and you know, it was kind of something parents would like, you know, would drive their kids through education and so on to be like that. But then all of these in the 90s, there were all these sort of weird things, and all of a sudden it became like, oh my god, I think my son might be an otaku. Maybe he's going to be in a cult. I don't know. It's kind of come back to being more sort of, you know. Well, I think that they've done really well at creating a whole mainstream culture. But
oh yeah, because it used to be really negative, right? Hiko, remember, like 10 years ago?
When I got here, it was really negative. But I think it's turned a corner. Absolutely, it's kind of. I think the thing with Japan now is that it's gotten big enough. It's okay. It's okay to be in that. You know, it's sort of like it's not like so fringe or niche anymore. It's kind of mainstream. If you're into it, you are. If you're not, you're not. But it's not like you're a weirdo. You know, and people judge so much. I think. Yeah.
I mean, I've introduced myself as a otaku to people like, なんか俺は一応オタクです。あ、そうですかみたいな感じ。It's not like, oh no, get away from me.
I remember my sister got me in 1997. She got me for a birthday present like an anime T-shirt. It was a cool one. It was like Appleseed or something. It was good.
I remember Appleseed. Oh, yeah, that's a long time ago.
It was a cool T-shirt, and it was just like my sister knew I was into Japan. I was living in New Zealand, but I had a Japanese girlfriend, so she got me this shirt. And my Japanese girlfriend in New Zealand was kind of uncomfortable when she saw it, but hey, it's just a cool shirt. This is New Zealand. Who cares? And one day I came home, I was looking for the shirt, and I couldn't find it. I discovered that my girlfriend had thrown it out secretly.
Really?
She didn't want me wearing an anime T-shirt.
But there'll be no anime in this house.
Wow. But I'm surprised she threw it away.
So was I. The other thing that she did was she threw away. So her family was like a communist sort of family, which in Japan is quite common, 10-20% of voters.
So we got a good question here. Someone says, how do you speak like an otaku? No, how to speak like an otaku. No, I don't think they're actually asking, but it's a good question from inspired by this. What would be some typical otaku things to say in Japanese? Let's give us an idea.
What's a giveaway? What's someone, you're an otaku. What's a...
Yeah. You said the www things in the line, like when you're texting me. I do that, but I didn't know that was otaku thing, and I'm not an otaku.
I mean, if you said that out loud, that'd be really otaku.
People, do you use the www instead of LOL for Japanese?
Or wow.
You know, W repeated 4 or 5 times. You use that? Yeah. Is that considered otaku?
Oh, it's pretty mainstream, isn't it?
It's more like net speak now.
Okay,
like just internet, internet speak. But I guess she was turned off by that, so I don't know.
But like, if you're speaking to somebody verbally, and what are the signs that the person you're talking to is an otaku?
I don't even know, to be honest, because I haven't met too many like straight Japanese otaku.
What do you mean straight Japanese?
Like even in Japan, like meeting people and stuff, no one really was like, "Oh, I'm otaku," blah 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 blah. So
Jordan, like, I'm sorry, maybe I'm confused. I thought you were straight.
I am straight.
Okay. No, it's cool either way. I don't care.
You're just singling out, stopping the whole conversation.
No, he said I haven't met any straight otaku, so I thought maybe gay otaku.
Straight up otaku.
Straight up, yeah. I missed the word.
Dude, let me teach you how to speak slang in English. Yeah. So there are no typical otaku expressions. I can't think of any myself.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, there are tendency to use boku a lot. Tendency.
I use boku.
Yeah, it's a bit Mazakon though. It's a bit like lived at home. It's a little.
I changed to Ore about 5 years ago, but
yeah, you got to rough it up a little. Like, honestly, like for example, just before when Jordan said "Ore jitsu wa otaku nanda," we say "Ore." It still is a little bit kind of cool, but if you're like "Jitsu wa boku otaku nandesu," everyone run away.
Yeah.
Okay, you're right. That's a good point. I didn't realize that boku had an otaku tinge to it. I just thought it was a younger man.
Yeah, kind of living with your mom, kind of a thing.
It's weird.
I mean, not always. I use boku sometimes as well, time and place. But if you were to put "I'm an otaku" with boku in the same sentence, it would kind of ram it home.
Nihongo nande shaberen no, because we're not, because you're only, most of our audience is English speakers.
Nande shabereru no? Oh.
That's why. Okay. So.
Oh, by the way, 1962 Shun is validating my advice.
What's your advice?
My suggestion of the influence of boku in the context of introducing.
Yeah, no, I think that's an important point, actually. Yeah.
So, like, I got a question for you. People used to ask me. I've been asked this question so many times. Is it possible to learn Japanese from watching anime? And I would always say, like, don't do that. But it's something everyone like seems to do nowadays.
Yeah, I've done it.
Well, and I guess there's enough sort of mainstream stuff now as well. My thing, I would always say to people in the 90s, watch like Japanese dramas.
Yeah, I did too.
And the dramas are pretty good. I haven't watched a full drama series actually since I got to Japan. I watched more in New Zealand than I did here.
Huh.
But there's a lot of dramas with like Japanese anime like dramas and stuff as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
What are some good ones? What are some sort of what sort of genres are you into? Like you say sort of daily stuff, but like
everything.
Everything, but you can't watch everything at once.
You can't watch everything at once. But I'm like usually into like shonen type stuff. So Dragon Ball Z, what's new, Boku no Hero Academia, which is like the thing that's hot right now. Whatever. I try to watch as much as possible. I literally try to watch as much anime as possible, even like the really cringy bad stuff. But
Alien has typed hentai. I found it so funny when that word found its way into English, and how it came out. It's one of those kind of misadopted words, but it is kind of funny. I mean, everyone gets it right away.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's possible to learn Japanese through anime if you do it right and understand that, like, go in with the mindset that this might not be 100% applicable to real life.
Yeah.
It's like musical lyrics. I think if you're careful, you can pick up quite a few useful expressions from musical lyrics. But generally speaking, you have to be careful. Well, there's a lot of shit that you don't need.
Yeah.
Lyrics in Japanese as well, actually, are singing in karaoke is great for your pronunciation, for getting the sounds right, but the words that they use in most lyrics are totally detached from like spoken Japanese.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, there's a couple of songs I've known off by heart for like 20 years, and I still sing them, and I'm like, geez, I have no idea what this is saying. That's some level 1 Japanese stuff in there. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, like, I think another thing that anime has a benefit of is like helping you understand like certain things in Japanese culture. Like
what?
Just like weird things, like for example, what was it? Like I was working the other day and like something fell off the shelf and everyone's like, it's a ghost. I'm like, oh, it might be Zasukurashi. And everyone's like, oh my god, why do you know that?
I don't know what that is, but I can imagine. But yeah, that's
Yokai Watch, I saw that. Yeah, so I learned that from anime too.
Yeah, just like little like culture things that you wouldn't pick up through a textbook.
You learn a lot through. I learn a lot from. I'm sure Hiko too, from your kids, right? They come home with shit like, where'd they get that? What does that mean? And you start looking.
Yeah, you pick stuff up.
Let me see if I just said this right. King Kong Kang Kong, is that right?
King Kong Kang Kong.
Yeah. You know what that is, Hiko?
No.
That's I just learned that. I know I've known it, but I never knew what it was. I thought it was just something in a song. And then the other day I realized that is a sound of a chime in Japanese. King Kong Kang Kong is supposed to be the sound of the school bell ringing so kids can come to class or let them out of class or get on their break time.
Okay.
So I never knew that, but I've heard it like a ton of times. It's in songs. My kid says it sometimes. And I just think it's just I think it's just a cute sound it makes, but I didn't realize it's actually the sound of the chime of the school bell.
I did not know that at all.
King Kong Kang Kong.
See, I should have watched Bebop High School. I would have known this, but I skipped it. I saw it playing, and I thought that looks like fun, but I
actually learned that from Mashu Maro and Rina Berry, which is a new vlogger that I've been helping out a little bit on the side. a couple who are here in Japan. But she talked about it. She said, and it was King Kong 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 break time. And I said, oh, what? That's from that song. Why? She said,
Mind
and then I asked
explosion.
my wife about it. Like, oh yeah, it's the sound of a bell. I'm like, what?
It is a thing when you're living in Japan as a fully grown adult, but you're constantly trying to catch up a lifetime of learning that you can cover a lot in 2 or 3 years, but there's always going to be things that Victor and I, 20 years down the track, are going to be like lights popping on.
And there are kids coming up right now, Japanese kids who don't know the Japanese things that we know because we just picked it up because we were born. We were here before they were born. So, I'll test you guys to see if you know this one. Okay. Hasukashi nagara Nihon ni kaete marimashita. Who said that?
Who said it?
Yeah. Or who? In what context was that said? Hasukashi nagara Nihon ni kaete mairimashita. I think that was
like when you failed at your job overseas.
Yeah, but who said it?
I don't know.
A Japanese soldier who was found. He was found in the Philippines 40 years after the war.
Oh, that guy. He's like,
and they picked him up, and he was found, and he appeared on the news like 20 or 30 years ago.
That was like in the 80s.
Yeah, and now
I wasn't even born, bro.
Exactly. That's my point. That's something that all Japanese know, all adult Japanese know. It's one of those. It's called cultural literacy. And that's what Hiko and I we fail at most of that. But there are some things that we know that, for example, young Japanese won't know. Right. That's one. How about otoko wa shizuka ni sake o nomu? Is that it? Shizuka ni, that's Toshihiro Mifune.
Oh, that song.
Mifune.
So which is an old samurai actor, right?
Mifune is like the classic. They're from
he's like the John Wayne of. I'm sure I'm saying that a little bit wrong, but
they wanted him to be Obi-Wan Kenobi in the original Star Wars. But
did they? Yeah, oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
So they got Alec Guinness instead. But it was all the Kurosawa movies. It was always Mifune was always the star.
Oh, cool.
I didn't know that.
So there's a lot of stuff like that Hiko and I don't know, but pockets of ignorance. It's hard to fill in those pockets, right?
Yeah, definitely.
But I'm sure that you're right. Anime can help with things like that. There's a couple years ago, a movie came out called Your Name. It was last year.
Oh, I haven't watched that.
It's a great. I bought it, and I'm teaching it.
Watch that.
The dialogue, and it's interesting. And there's something in there about I don't want to. This won't ruin it for you, but they talk about spit sake. I don't remember what the Japanese is, but they make women. These women in, I guess, Shinto priestesses will chew some substance and then spit into a cup, and then that will ferment, and it becomes sake. So that's it's Japanese culture, right? I mean,
that sounds like it was invented. That's actually how it was invented.
Yeah.
It's kind of gross.
And you can still buy it that way. And they still sell it in certain areas, but I didn't.
It's kind of hentai. I think we're getting back into hentai now.
Yeah, definitely.
Used panties and
chewed by a priest.
Chewed sake, right?
Not my bag.
Things like that.
So you've been in Japan like the whole time, or you've been back in New York and back and forth, or what have you been doing?
Back and forth. I just came back to New York a couple months ago.
Oh, so you're in New York now?
Yeah, sadly.
Oh, so this is early in the morning for you.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Why sadly? I mean, New York's cool. You must have a bigger apartment.
Well, I'm at home now, so I have my room back, but it was going well for me in Japan. I was working at an internship, and pretty much I was doing so well that they asked me to stay for another month, so I had to get my visa extended. But nice. I can't get a work visa, so I couldn't, stay there forever. So I had to.
Well, the government just this week, they announced they're adding a whole bunch of extra categories of work visa and so on. They're trying to open the doors wider and wider. So I don't know what your internship was, but I hope you can find a way back.
Yeah, I wish. Yeah, I'm working on it, but yeah.
No,
because I haven't graduated college, so it's not like
I should get that done. Yeah.
Yeah. I had a whole bunch of job offers over there too. They're like, "Oh my God, can you come work for me?" And I'm like, I don't have a work visa.
So, are you in college, or are you gonna finish that, or what?
Yeah, if I get the money.
Yeah, it's tough, isn't it?
You're
But it
you're
does
just
open a lot of
missing a
doors.
few credits, right? You're just a few credits. Is that right?
I'm probably missing like a year and a half, maybe, to get something.
Oh, that's tough.
I mean, it makes such a big difference in Japan because people just expect it as a formality half the time.
Yeah.
But I know there's a lot of people who come over when they ask me for this advice as well. It's sort of like, I know you people want to get over here as soon as possible, but sometimes I think it's worthwhile taking lots of trips.
Yeah.
But it does make it, it's the same as with the Japanese qualification, with the JLPT as well.
Yeah.
It's kind of like it's kind of a pain, but it does have a payoff if you get it.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, it means something. That's the big debate.
Piece of paper.
Do you really need that?
Yeah, that damn piece of paper. I mean, yeah.
There are ways around it. I mean, you can get married.
Yeah, I know. And I joke about that every time I talk to like Japanese people. I'm like, yeah, I want to go back to Japan. I need to find me a wife.
That is one way.
But it works.
I mean, like
Hiko and I
like-
didn't do it that way. But I know people who have.
I mean, like looking at like the requirements of everything else, and then looking at marriage. Marriage is like the easiest path, technically.
Yeah, that's how it looks. I know, but trust me, yeah, it has its pros and cons.
Yokoi, that's the guy's name. The soldier, I couldn't remember his name. Yokoi is his name.
Yeah.
Yokoi. Sorry.
Yokoi
is the soldier's name. Hey, let me ask you another question. What kind of faux pas have you committed while over here?
In Japan?
Yeah.
What do you mean faux pas?
Did you make any cultural mistakes? Like you do something that you didn't realize was something you shouldn't do?
Not really, to be honest.
No big mistake. That's good. I called Anko Unko. I wanted to say Anko is delicious, and I said Unko oishi, and people were like, what? Anko is red beans, and I said poop instead of red beans. The difference is one syllable. Anko, which is red beans, and Unko, which is shit.
I got one.
Okay.
So someone was talking to me, and it was kind of loud. So they asked me, what kind of girls have I dated? So she said, どんな子が好き合った? And all I heard was yatta. So I
what
thought
kind of girls have you had sex with?
So that's all I heard.
Yeah.
So like,
how did you
asked her back, like, what kind of girls did I have sex with? And she's like, no. And she like punched me in the arm. She's like, I said sukiyatta.
Maybe you thought, oh, what kind of girls did I enjoy having sex with? Okay. That's not such a bad one.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad, no. Oh, and and then like the first time I was in Japan, when I was at the konbini, the lady asked me if I wanted hashi. But I misheard her, and I thought she asked me if I wanted okashi.
Okashi.
So I'm like, why is this lady asking me if I want snacks?
Yeah. Okashi. Well, you could have thought she asked, "Do you like legs? Do you want some legs, ashi?" All right.
Yeah, not too much.
There's a guy in the comment section who wants to know about. I think he's black, and he says he feels that his chances of dating this is a stupid question, but anyway, since you're black, I'm assuming you're black, right?
I am.
You could be Puerto Rican. I don't know.
Absolutely, yeah.
Like you couldn't be both, right? Some guy thinks he's gonna die alone. He's never gonna find an Asian Japanese girl. Any response to
that? Really? Well, I mean, maybe. Well, it depends on where he lives. If he's in Japan, I mean, it's not too hard to find a Japanese girl. Go to a gaijin bar.
The important follow-up steps to that: stand still and breathe.
Yeah, just go to the garden bar, stand
Just go
still.
there and wait. That's an important step. If you don't do that, you might miss out. But yes, if you just stay there, it should be okay.
Yeah, it's not that hard. It's
Yeah.
hard. Well, it's how many women do you need? What's his name? Kazuichix? Kazuichix?
Yeah.
How do you pronounce your name, dude? Kazuichix or Suix? Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, how many women? Yeah, what is this? Statistics are irrelevant. You're one person, so don't worry about statistics. Just get out there and find someone who likes you for who you are, and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Hiko and I got married, so it can't be that hard, right? Look at us.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
You can have all this.
I mean, I've had 2 Japanese girlfriends without even putting in the effort to go find one. They just showed up. So.
And you didn't order them from a catalog or anything.
No.
There you go.
Actually, so my first time in Tokyo, when I was backpacking, I'd only been, of course.
We look like a wonderful couple, says Chris. Well, I didn't mean to imply that Hiko and I were married, but nothing against Hiko. I mean, I'm sure you'd make a great, wonderful husband.
Sort of thing. So 1995, I think I was backpacking, and I went to a friend gave me a list of bars in Roppongi, that sort of, just names that I had to just if you see these, and I knew one of them I was told was like a sleazy pickup bar, and the rest were okay clubs.
So you went to the sleazy pickup bar.
Well, I didn't know which was which, but
I see.
We got the Gas Panic, and I remember, Gas Panic, that was in the conversation.
Oh yeah.
Which was, the classic sort of sleazy pickup bar. I went in there with my Japanese friend, and yeah, I was funny. And this was in 1985, so the gaijins were still a little bit more rare in there. And I remember we were only there for like 1 hour, and we were staying in Chiba, so we had to get on like the 10:30 train or whatever. It was like kind of early.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like some nice girls just sort of came up and were basically on my arm all the way back to the train station, all the way. And I was like 19 and totally clueless. And I was like, bye.
Thanks for walking me to the train, nice lady.
Yeah, that was really nice of you. And the guy, we got on the train, and my Japanese friend's like, what are you doing? Yes, more innocent times.
Mm. So New Zealand girls are a little more, or not that aggressive, can we assume?
Well, they're aggressive, but different.
They're just aggressive. I had a New Zealand encounter in South America many years ago, and she was fairly aggressive.
Well, in every sense, yes.
Hiko's story actually reminded me of a story when I first went to Japan.
Oh.
So I was at a club called...
I need a drink for this, right?
Yeah. I was at a club called The Party.
Mm-hmm.
And...
The Party, whoa.
Yeah, The Party. Like, great name. And what was it? I think I went there by myself this time. The first time I went with friends. This time I went by myself.
No.
And first time was bad.
Guts to go alone.
Yeah, first time was bad because I got super drunk and threw up. So the second time, the bartender's like, okay, here's what I want you to do tonight. I want you to not throw up and take a girl home.
Nice. Good bartender.
Right? But so I'm at the bar or whatever, and then I'll hang out with like 4 girls. One of them's not interested in me at all. She's just interested in the DJ, and the other 3 are cool. So we're all talking, and one of their friends is like really drunk. So we all go outside, and we're sitting outside, and her friend is just laid out on the floor. Mm-hmm. So we're all talking. It's cool. And this is one of the faux pas I used to do a lot in Japanese. I couldn't decide if I wanted to say watashi, boku, or ore. So I'd always mix it up. So she like stopped me mid-conversation. It was like, which one do you want to use? Like, pick one.
She's important, man.
That's helpful. That's very helpful. I wish I had someone like that to help me.
Yeah, you throw in a few atashis in there, and they're like, am I playing in the wrong field? I mean,
yeah.
Barking up the wrong tree there, right?
So, end up, girl who's drunk on the ground, she sobers up a little bit, so she's like, I'm gonna go home. So they're like, oh, we're gonna take her home. So like walk her home. I was like, oh, I'll come or whatever. So she picks up the bike. She took a bike to the club. I don't know why. Whatever. So we're all walking, and then she gets on her bike and it's about to go home. And I'm like, is she gonna be okay? She's still really drunk, and she's just gonna go ride a bike home in the middle of the night. And they're like, no, she'll be fine. I'm like, okay, whatever. So then we go back to the bar, and they're like, oh, you're a really nice guy. And I'm like, wait, why? Because I didn't go home with her and take advantage of her. Like, I was really confused.
Right.
But like, I guess that's common. It's like, oh, she's drunk. Like, she's easy. You know, you should go with her. And I'm just like,
They didn't say that though, did they?
But they implied it.
Mm.
Like the whole time we were going. But then I was like, oh no, I'll just go back to the bar with you guys.
Well, the whole Nampa thing, actually. So, when I was surfing, I'd hang out with my Japanese surfer friends afterwards. And, like, whenever you walk through Kashiwa Station, which is a pretty big station, and, there's always people waiting in front of the ticket gates or whatever.
Yeah.
Where I come from a country where everybody knows everybody. So it's like you don't just walk up and start hitting on random people because you'll get arrested or beaten up or both. And so, like, in Japan, like, when I'm going through a train station with my friends, and one of them sees a girl standing there and just walks up to her and starts hitting on her. Oh my God, you have to stop that. But they kind of explained to me later on, and it seems to be true. I never quite got up the gumption to try it myself. But yeah, saying those girls standing there, they're just standing there waiting to get hit on. They're not waiting for anybody.
Really?
And it was true. I mean, these guys had a thing. They could go up, talk to a girl, and have her come out, have her get her friend and come out drinking. But yeah, it took when I saw that, I was like, oh my God. The cops are coming, run away.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I've never done that.
You've never done the old station pickup?
No. Picked up a girl that I had just on the street that I have never met before. No. Oh, I picked up a girl in a music festival. No. But it was the music, Everyone was dancing. We liked the way each other was dancing. Well, anyway, and there was no talking. There was no talking.
That probably helped.
Yeah, that helps a lot. Yeah, it's yeah. If I don't have to use this, just use
done
this.
deal.
Hey, the new Han Solo movie. I see people bad mouthing the new Han Solo movie. Any thoughts on that, Jordan?
I have not. There's a trailer out.
Yeah, there is.
I did not see it.
I'm digging it. I'm looking forward to it, but that's just me.
How about Black Panther?
I still have to see it. I was gonna go see it actually this morning. No.
I'm gonna see it next Thursday. I got free tickets.
Nice.
Not really free. Someone's taking me.
That's still free.
Now I feel like I'm a date. I hope he's not watching this. No, somebody offered me as a thank you the ticket, so no big deal. Anyway,
how much are tickets out there?
The 1800 is your standard. If you pre-purchase them, they can be as low as 1200, which is about $11. 1800 is about 17, 16 bucks. But we're gonna go see the 3D one, which is I think 2500. Which is like 21 bucks or something.
Yeah, something like that.
But I figure, what the hell, IMAX 3D, gotta see that. That's gonna be cool. So looking forward to that. And going to the Naked Festival next Wednesday.
Ah, yeah.
As I do every year. That's my big thing.
Have you ever had any faux pas at the Naked Festival?
It's pretty much impossible to do a faux pas at the Naked Festival. Everyone's naked, so I don't grab at any of the naked people, so I mean, I've seen a lot of fights though. A lot of people have fights. Those are always pretty much the fundoshi fights. They have fundoshi, which is the Japanese underwear. Equivalent to that. Like if you're a sumo wrestler, those things that they wear, that's basically fundoshi. And I've seen every year there's always fights. Always people get, because everyone's drunk, and then someone brushes up against someone like, oh, mother. And they're holding each other's back. And there's naked guys holding another naked guy back from trying to beat the shit out of another naked guy.
Sounds like a big excuse just to grab naked people.
But of course, if you watch a video and you're a Westerner, you're like, that's so gay, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. But,
yeah. No. Yeah. I think That was one of the only times I've had culture shock in Japan. Like when I was in Fukuoka, they had one of the famous like summer festivals, and they have like all the adults and kids in Fudoshi like running through the streets and like people throwing water at them.
Oh yeah. They throw water at you. And what time of the year was it?
Summer.
Oh, that's not so bad. Dude, in the winter, it's freezing. They throw sake on you in the winter.
What?
Yeah, I've done it. The first hour, you're just miserable, but after that, your body kind of you just get used to it, and you're like, okay. And you're also drunk. You're also drunk. That helps.
And then you get fight.
Any suggestions to other people who are out there who want to learn Japanese?
Suggestions?
Mm-hmm. Besides, of course, going to your channel and subscribing to.
Which, by the way, do we have the information here?
I've mentioned it a few times. It's called Japanese Learnage. I've mentioned it a few times.
And you should put a link in the video info for this so people can go subscribe after.
I shall. But there it is. Japanese Learnage, one word. Yeah, any suggestions?
Suggestions. Like, get off of Romanji as quick as possible.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And like, I would say get an app, maybe like Human Japanese, that you can have in your pocket all the time, because like let's say you have like a textbook or something, you don't want to carry it around everywhere, all that stuff. Like Human Japanese is like a really good textbook to learn Japanese, and it's on your iPhone or Android phone. It's like anytime you're bored at the airport or whatever, waiting for whatever, you could just open it up and start learning Japanese. Like it's always in your pocket. So like that's what I used. One of the things I used. People are lazy. They don't want to carry around books and stuff.
Yeah, no, unfortunately you're right. People are just lazy. Hiko, quick question for you. Before we wrap up. I've always wanted to ask you this. Is there one like grammar point that you had trouble like understanding at first? Something that you didn't quite get? It took you a while, like going back to when you were Shokyu, when you were was there one particular?
Sure. I think the hardest grammar point in Japanese, and that teachers have trouble teaching, because I think it's just like you just have to memorize it almost, is wa and ga.
Oh.
The right time to use ga. You generally know that ga is kind of for like emphasis,
right?
Or for like drawing something and putting a little bit extra on it. But there's no real grammar rule at all to it. You know what I mean? So even when they teach it, like I learned Japanese at university, and the teachers would always say, they'll try to give you all these rules, but then there's all these exceptions. They'll say, well, okay, you just always use it with this pattern or this pattern. And other times you do it by feeling. And getting that feeling especially when you're learning the language from outside of Japan, so you're not exposed to it. Like I think kids just pick it up by just, situationally, just hearing that this is what they got. But when you don't have that situation to draw on, it's really hard to learn purely grammatically, I think. Even now, I don't always get it right.
Yeah, me too. I wrote a note on email the other day, and I was just about to send it, and my wife said, that should be ga instead of wa. I was like, damn, And I've taught that. I've taught the difference between wa and ga, and
it's hard.
You might be. Oh, you go.
For me, it was shikanai. Shikanai, right? For example, judoru shikanai or something. I only have $10. For some reason, I couldn't understand how. I mean, I just remember this in my Japanese class when I was studying. What? I don't get it. How can that be? Because they wouldn't use any English at all when they're explaining, right? Yeah. And for some reason, and looking back on it, I have no problem. It just seems easy now. But I always feel like that's something that people might have trouble with because.
Jordan, you had one?
Yeah, I've had a couple. I think the first time I got roadblock was giving and receiving. So like morao, kureru, ageru. But after like learning more Japanese and going back to it, I was fine. After that, I think the main thing was wake.
Wake nai?
Yeah. Nani nani wake ga nai. like that, like
That's
the
easy. All you need to do is get a girlfriend and piss her off, and you'll hear it a lot.
My wife's always saying that.
Just an unhappy female acquaintance. That's all you need. I actually, one that I also think is kind of tough to learn remotely is shitsure shimasu.
Oh, really? Why?
Because it's another really situational. Like there are situations where we would say thank you in English, where you'd say shitsure shimasu. So you'd say, when you excuse yourself, excuse me is the direct translation. But there's situations where, like when you sit down before someone else, or when you, well, that's kind of excuse me, but when you leave, the whole thing about when you're at arubaito and you're leaving before other people, so they're all saying otsukaresama desu. So even Japanese screw this up. Otsukaresama desu when you finish work and you say shitsure shimasu, osaki ni shitsure shimasu. Japanese, like university kids or new people, new shakaijin, they always say otsukaresama desu when they're leaving early, and it really pisses all the old people off because it's like, we're still working. you have to say shitsure shimasu, you have to apologize on the way out. But it's really tough when you don't have that sense that I'm supposed to be apologizing, when in my own language I would just say thanks or see you. So I don't know, it's lots of different situational uses that are really specific. I always had trouble grasping that.
It's a great way to hang up the phone too in a business or formal situation.
Yeah.
Instead of saying "ja mata ne" or "sayonara" or "bye bye," you say "shite shimasu."
Yeah. That's true.
Very useful. Very useful. But you're right. You have to be here to actually realize how it can be used.
Yeah, I guess it is a little bit like pardon me, but also for going in and out of rooms, like in meetings, like when you're visiting somewhere. So for work, for me, when I'm visiting other companies, it's when I walk in a room, I always say shite shimasu. I might leave shite shimasu, sort of like it's kind of nice. I mean, now I really like it, but it took me a long time to get my head around.
Yeah, I feel like that's just like getting in the Japanese mindset of like, you have to lower yourself, so you're always saying like, I'm going to be rude. Yeah. So.
Well,
it literally is. I'm about to be rude, So there's one thing, you know the TV show Mad Men, the 60s ad agency thing. There's one that's kind of in the climax episode of like season 4 or whatever. There's one scene where one guy thinks he's got all the dirt on Don Draper, and he's always held this over him for a couple of seasons, and then he goes and dumps it all on the boss. And, you're expecting this to be the end for Don Draper, and the boss guy, who's like a Japanese culture freak, he says, I love it. It's sort of stuck in my head. It's that, in Japanese, a man is defined by the room that he stands in. And that's exactly, I love that about Japanese language, and it's really true. Like, where you have to physically stand in the room, the language that you speak and the language that people speak to you is completely dependent on the people in the room with you, and it changes as the people move and as you move. Yeah. That takes a lot of getting your head around, but once you get that, the whole thing about when you use shitsure shimasu, for example, you wouldn't say that if there was like a bunch of kohais in the room or a bunch of students or kids or something like that, but you totally would use it if you were like visiting the customer side. But that's something you can't teach through grammar or translation. You just have to be, in the war zone, figuring it out and screwing up as you go along, catching bruises, and then you learn it. But it's when you get it, it's one of the really cool things about Japanese language and culture, actually. And it was really good for that situation as well. Yeah. So he's saying, you think you got all this dirt on your superior, you're forgetting that. That was kind of cool.
Huh. Yeah. Well, in the end, the point is you gotta pay attention. Yeah. You gotta use it. You gotta pay attention to how other people use it. Native speakers use it. That's all you can know, I guess.
Pretty much.
Well, best of luck with the new channel, and congratulations on not giving up, despite the fact that YouTube has taken away monetization from a lot of channels. Hiko and I, both of our side channels got hit. So we're not going to be making a couple pennies on the side there, but
is what it is.
Yeah. But April 7th.
April 7th, YouTube Hanami. Oh, you're going to be in New York, so I guess you won't be there. I wish you could make it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, maybe next time.
Maybe I hit the lotto.
Hit the lotto.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna go back to watching. Japan got a gold medal tonight in the endurance, like the large group sprint, and a bronze in the curling.
Curling.
Which
my wife, curling. I'm sorry, but any sport where the people pause to eat potato chips between sets, I just can't respect that. You never see any other athletes pausing to eat literally potato chips. They're eating.
It's a serious sport. I mean, that Russian guy got disqualified for doping in curling, which I was like,
amazing.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether he was like taking the drugs in order to eat faster in between the sets, or to was it a sweeping thing?
Amazing. Yeah, I didn't watch that though, but I thought it's so hard to be not to laugh or my contempt is just.
You're not a winter sports guy. What's your favorite winter sport, Victor?
No, winter sport. That's not a sport. That's all I'm saying. So, come on, it's curling. It's like, come on. A lot of those people are overweight and out of shape and flabby, and I mean, they got techniques. I mean, I'm sure they're better than me, but it's still not a sport.
I'll tell you a very quick and a very good sports story. New Zealand, Australia versus Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe's got all these white colonial sort of, farmers and so on their team, and it's sort of half amateur, and there's really fat guys. They don't look like athletes. And the Aussie guys love like sledging them, putting them down. And one of the Aussie guys was asking this famous 50-year-old Zimbabwean batsman, "Why are you so fat?" And the guy responded, "Because every time I screw your wife, she gives me a biscuit." It's like famous in cricket history. The whole Australian team, but it had to stop. It was like everyone thought that was just too good.
That is good. That's good.
Good.
So you're saying that it's about the female. What's it, curlers, right? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Who knows how they got that way?
Next week we're hoping to have a guy named Dan on. Not sure, and I was hoping to get some more people on, but we didn't have time today. So there's a new. Well, he's not so new, but he's still kind of a little bit new. Named Dan DeJan. I forgot his username. Well, you'll see next week. Hopefully, we'll
Japan Dan.
Get him. Japan Dan. That's what it was. Yeah. Dan in Japan Dan, and he's from England. So I should probably get a translator. Yeah. We'll be okay. Jordan, again, congratulations on channel, and please check out his channel. It's called Japanese Learnage.
Yes.
Japanese
Link below the video for people watching this recorded.
Yes, I will put it right away. Okay, as soon as we get off.
Cool.
All right, thanks for watching, guys.
Peace.
Thanks, man. Thanks, Jordan. Your name is Jordan.
Thanks.
Stopping broadcast now. Okay.
How about you?